Hi everyone, today's tutorial is going to be inspired by the new music video by Lady Gaga, so as you can probably guess, it's going to be pretty crazy. So I'm just going to start and get my hair out of the way, which needs cutting and retouching, I know. So just before you comment on my horrible hair, I know it needs retouching. I'll get it done this week, hopefully. Now before I kick off with the foundation, I'm just popping on some wet soap onto my brows, which will keep them flat, which means I can cover them later. Give it a few seconds to dry off. Now it's time to move on to foundation, and I'm going to use a really good foundation, Estee Lauder Double Wear. As you can probably see, I need it. My skin hasn't been too good lately. It's coming up and been very, very red and blotchy. I think it's the stress of moving away. I'm moving away soon, and when I get anxious or stressed, I come up in rashes. So I'm going to use a good foundation to get rid of all that. Hide my shame. I'm going to give my face a bit of contour and highlight with my Ket foundations. I'm not sure what shades they are, can't remember, bother to look. Basically, you want something that's you want a dark shade and a light shade for your skin tone, basically. I'm going to pop the contours down the troughs of my face. And the highlight shade onto the peaks of my face. Now I've just felt my brows and they're not quite ready yet, they're still quite wet, so I'm just going to stick on, while I'm waiting, just going to stick on some eye primer to my eyes. This is just the Bourjois Flower Perfection primer. Just give my shadow a bit of staying power when I add the shadows a bit later. Okay, now I think my brows are ready. I'm just going to pop on some concealer on top of them. I'm just using my Revlon stick concealer. I'm not planning to cover my brows completely, just mainly because my brows are too dark and it'll just take a lot of work. And also I think, as long as I keep them nice and light, hopefully that will do. Next up I'm going to even out my face a little bit. I'm going to powder over it. Now Lady Gaga often keeps her contours really quite prominent in her dramatic looks. So yeah, don't be afraid to make this nice and neat. I mean, you want the contour to still be there, but just use a little bit of powder just to make it a little bit even. Okay, for the brow now, you want quite a dramatic, uneven cartoon 1920s brow, so very fine. So I'm using black, my Clinique True Black liner with Louise Young angle brush, and I'm going to use my own brow to get the line I want. And I'm just going to go over my own brow shape. Now just to clarify, I'm not going to copy this look exactly because I don't think it would suit me if I copied it exactly, and so I'm going to sort of adapt it to myself. So I'm going to use the same sort of colours but sort of tweak it around a bit so it suits me. And one of the key features of this look is a really long blush that Lady Gaga is wearing, and that suits her because she has quite an angular face, so it really suits her. I don't have an angular face. If I put a really long blush on, it's just going to make me look really, really weird. So I'm going to change the blush slightly, and what I'm going to do, it's quite a very strong, intense blush. I'm going to adapt some of the blush colour into my eyes so it kind of compensates a bit. I'm going to use this fuchsia pink colour here by Riabi, and I'm going to take this underneath my eyes. Just going to compensate the redness because the face is quite red and pinky, like all over, but I'm not going to take the blush down that far, so I'm going to incorporate some of the blush colour into my eyes. I have two blushes here for my cheeks. I have two quite strong blushes, Flamingo by Sleek and La Femme blush number 1, I think. It looks like that. going to start off with a Flamingo blush, which is probably the least intense of the two. I'm going to just pop into the apple of my cheek. I'm not going to bring it down any further. I don't think it really will suit it if I did that. You don't really need to worry about blending this like into your skin as much. I mean, really want to make the blush look like it's like almost clown-like, almost like it's just been splattered on. And add a bit more intensity with my La Femme. And it's going to go right on the apple of the cheek. I'm going to move on to some gold. This is going to go high up on the eye contour. Using Goldenrod by Yabi. The pink I used underneath my eye was called Pink Elephant. And I'm using a Louise Young tapered brush to get this yellowy gold onto my... Now it appeared that the black had a sort of bluey undertone to it, so I'm going to add a Estee Lauder Double Wear Blue Velvet. This is a shadow cream, so it'll help give me a sort of base to work with. Let's put this all onto the lid. Now onto my favourite black eyeshadow ever, Sugar Pills Bulletproof. I'm going to pop this onto my lids. Now another thing that I'm going to do to adapt this to my look. Lady Gaga has this really intensely black around her eyes. And she brings it right down and she brings it right up. I'm not going to bring it down that far or bring it that far up. Lady Gaga has such these big beautiful eyes that she can get away with adding lots of black shadow around her eyes. If I add loads, it'll just make my eyes look really small. It won't suit me. So I'm gonna not go as, still gonna go quite intense, but not as big. And work it all in. I mean, don't be afraid to come all the way down if you want to. I mean, trust me, Lady Gaga brings the black light right down, like along here. To intensify that black further, move back onto my, what do you call it? Clinique True Black. Gonna work on my bottom bit. I'm going to do little brush strokes and bring the black down. Make it nice and scattered. Not going to go down as far as Lady Gaga goes down though. I'm literally on the lid just going to do little and tiny flicks. I'm going to use Typographic by MAC, and in this inner corner of my nose here I'm going to bring the black, this sort of off black, into my centre just here. I'm going to add a bit of gold. This is the Molten Metal Duo by Sleek. As you can see, it's well loved. I'm going to take some of this gold along my lid, just give a bit more gold to it. I don't know if Lady Gaga has this, but I'm still just working, as I said, this is just an inspired look, so I'm working with the same colours, and she does have a bit of gold in her eyes somewhere. I'm going to pop on some mascara. I'm going to decide if I want false lashes later. I mean, I think makeup's heavy enough. I mean, I don't know if it's going to need any, but I'll just have a look once I put my mascara on. If it needs any extra lash power. Yeah, I think I'll put some on just for the hell of it. I'm going to put these on. I have no idea what they're called. I just found them in my eyelash collection. They look like that. So I'm going to put these on now. Okay, lips. Going to move on to Gash Lip Pencil by Urban Decay. And I've just decided with this pencil, on my cheeks I'm going to do little, almost like thatched hooks there. Just on a whim. I know Lady Gaga doesn't have that, but I haven't done my blushes as interesting as hers, so I thought I'd just add that to make it a bit more interesting. Black around the outside. I'm going to use Kittenish lipstick and that. Going to add a bit of gloss. This is a lip tar by MOCC. I'm just going to add a little bit of shine to my lips. I'm also going to add the shine to my eyes. She has quite a glossy eye here, so I'm going to add a little bit of this onto my eyes. Make the eyes look nice and wet and shiny. Well, I really hope you have enjoyed. I know the look isn't exactly like Lady Gaga has hers, but as I said, I was sort of adapting it to my own face, really. So yeah, I really hope you have enjoyed watching, and I don't know whether this will be my last video before I move away. I maybe have a couple more before I move away. But if it is, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon. If not, I'll see you in the future sometime. Bye everyone.